What are they? I think that they can best be expressed in three essential principles. First, and this has been hinted at already, that authority must be subject to checks and balances if its exercise is not to become arbitrary or even tyrannical in character. Secondly, that political legitimacy must ultimately derive through political representation and not by virtue of individual status alone. The meaning, of course, of representation and the nature and numbers of those to be represented are palpably matters that have changed fundamentally over the centuries. But to me, this has been the continued extension of a principle with deep historical roots. Finally, both Magna Carta and the First Parliament pay homage to the importance of that concept of the rule of law. What then of the future of the House of Commons? I talked a bit about the past and the present, and indeed of parliaments across democracies. It seems to me that there are three common challenges which we need both to recognise and then to address. First, popular relevance is key. By that I mean that we need to spend a substantial amount of our time discussing and offering direction on the immediate issues of importance to the public, and which are amplified by our now restless, relentless, and sometimes insatiable media. We have to be talking about the same subjects which our people are talking about, and on a timetable similar to theirs. Secondly, key also is digital democracy, a strategy for engagement with the electorate, especially its younger elements, which embraces modern technology, is obviously about more than having a good website, even though the UK Parliament does have, I think, a fine website. It has to be a much more all-encompassing approach than that. It has to reflect the sheer speed at which contemporary communications are changing, all of which, to my mind, makes the argument for a fundamental and enduring debate about the relationship between technology and politics and technology and parliaments. We cannot afford to be the canals in the emerging era of the trains. We have to be far more imaginative, much more experimental. Lead and not follow when it comes to new trends. Third element is a more physical form of public engagement, as well as that of the internet kind. We're blessed in Britain with an extraordinarily distinctive parliamentary building, including a most spectacular clock tower and bell, which is easily identified across the whole of the world. The estate, ladies and gentlemen, has its faults. It was hardly purpose-built for the requirements of 21st century legislatures, yet it remains a very impressive asset for us. If we are to stimulate interest in what occurs within this architectural triumph, however, we need to encourage citizens, and the youngest citizens who are still school children as a priority, to visit our Parliament and through it to appreciate democracy. It's been a very long road, ladies and gentlemen, from Magna Carta to our modern democracy. It is right, however, that we take the opportunity that this year presents with its important anniversaries to think more fully about the roots of our democracy and our society, not wallowing in the past or being nostalgic, but using the past as a stimulant to be bold and progressive about our future. By instinct, I'm an optimist. I have faith in the values which our Parliament has stood for over the centuries. I'm confident that they still count for much today. Thank you.